Doesn't seem like it's working, huh?
Craig, what have you done to the light?
I mean, technology, right? Yeah.
It's not coming out of the top.
And Jacob, he gave me a tutorial on this light, so I'm supposed to know how to work it. That was the problem. Okay, well, it doesn't work. That's all right. Shoot. I'll try it one more time. Here we go. And look, if I hit it 3 times, it gets brighter. Oh, I shut it off. All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And thank you for attending today's annual meeting. We have a nice crowd gathered here in the River Room, and most of you are streaming the meeting from the comfort of your own home. I'm going to wave to everybody that's in their house. For those of you watching online, please use the chat feature to write in any questions, and we'll make every effort to answer them in the Q&A session at the end of the meeting. On behalf of the staff, I want to thank all the members for their support and patience over the last 2 years. COVID-19 has caused us so many operational challenges and taught us some hard lessons. Together, we overcame the obstacles, and we're looking forward to the future with excitement and optimism. The best is yet to come, and you're going to see it here today with this, when this meeting continues. Today's bittersweet for me. We're saying goodbye to 2 outgoing board members who have been exceptional leaders and helped us navigate through the pandemic and much more. Please join me in thanking our president, Maggie Selby, and our treasurer, L.J. Fewix, for their generous contribution of hard work, dedication to our wonderful club. Right now, I'd like to introduce our president, Mrs. Maggie Selby. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Craig. Good afternoon. At this time, I would like to call the 2022 annual meeting of the membership to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At the Moorings, we are so fortunate to have an outstanding management team and staff. Each year at this meeting, we recognize the staff and their years of service. This year, we have 9 employees celebrating 5 years, 3 celebrating 10 years, 8 celebrating 15 years, 3 at 20 years, 1 at 30 years, and 2 at 35 years. So let us begin. For 5 years of service, congratulations to Arkady Belkin, Kitchen, Douglas Campbell, Food and Beverage, Don Edwards, Golf Services, Rick Marlowe, Engineering Maintenance, Gilberto Monfi, Golf Course Maintenance, Crystal Morton, Kitchen, Dylan Bondo Gomez, Golf Course Maintenance, Tim Shestack, Food and Beverage, and Tawana Wilson, Food and Beverage. Congratulations.
Thank you, Moorings.
For 10 years of service, congratulations go to Corey Hilbert's sous chef, Pierrette Roberts Kitchen, and Frank Russell Golf Course Maintenance.
Maybe Corey's cooking in the back. We'll get a picture.
For 15 years, congratulations go to Scott Campbell, Moorings Golf Course Superintendent. Bob Chedham, Food and Beverage. Joyce Forst, Kitchen. Matonia Joseph, Kitchen. Kenny Lawson, Engineering Maintenance. Max Mentor, Kitchen. Nada Metales, Kitchen. And Janet Yandel, Finance.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. God bless everybody.
Now, for 20 years, Andrew Dawson, Golf Course Maintenance. Robin Renteria, Kitchen. And Craig Wyant, Hawks Nest Golf Course Superintendent. For 30 years of service, Gordon Luscombe, head tennis professional. And here's some pictures of Gordon throughout the years. And now, for an astounding 35 years of working at the Moorings, Barbara Harbaugh, Golf Pro Shop.
I just wanted to say thank you. Whoops. And the reason I'm here for 35 years is because of all of you.
And for yet another astounding 35 years of service, Gary Mason, Golf Services. That was 35 years ago. The Moorings Educational Foundation offers financial aid to qualified Moorings Club staff and their families in search of educational advancement and skill development at all levels. Since its inception in 2009, cumulative grants have totaled $773,905. In 2021, $62,795 were donated, and 21 students were awarded grants for the 21-22 school year. Educational expenses will continue to rise in the years ahead. I challenge all members to consider participating by making a donation to this very important and worthwhile foundation. Information packets will be mailed to you in April, so please be on the lookout. This year, the Moorings Education Foundation hosted its second annual holiday fashion show. The event sold out and raised $3,125. And here you see our fabulous employee models modeling their wardrobe. It was such a fun event, they're hoping to make this an annual event. Thank you to everyone who is part of making the foundation successful and to all members who donated this year. Pictured here are this year's recipients. Congratulations to all of them. At this time, I would like to ask Terry Burns, Board Secretary, and Head Teller Peter Sparks to verify that we have a quorum.
As defined by the bylaws, a quorum is the presence, either in person or by proxy, of voting members having 50% of the votes then entitled to be voted, and shall constitute a quorum at any meeting of the members. Mr. Sparks, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Wait. Do we have an approval of the minutes of the meeting?
Yes, they were approved.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Today, L.J. Fuix and I are retiring from 6 years of service on the Board of Governors, and Dale Kaiser is staying on for his second 3-year term. Over the past 6 years, we've had the privilege of serving with many outstanding board members, and it's made it possible to accomplish some great things, despite the strenuous challenge of COVID-19. This includes some wonderful capital enhancements, including the new tennis and pickleball courts, the new golf course maintenance facility, the cart barn, and the Moorings golf course renovation, and much, much more. This year's Board of Governors includes the following people. Please stand when you hear your name called. Gary Parker, Vice President, Racket Sports Chair. L.J. Fuix, Treasurer, Compensation, Finance, and Insurance Committee Chair. Dale Kaiser, Assistant Treasurer and Golf Chair. Terry Burns, Secretary, Fitness and Spa Grievance Committee Chair. Bud Angeles, Greens, Legal and Bylaws Chair. Jeb Bittner, Properties Chair. Chet Kelikowski, House Committee Chair and Yacht Club Liaison. And Shanna McNally, Membership Chair. Thank you all. And in addition, I'd like to thank the Moorings Yacht Club Commodore Kip Jacoby for his leadership and service. I'm pleased to say that COVID seems to finally be subsiding, and it's wonderful to see so many people here in this room today. To say the last 2 years have been challenging is an understatement, but despite it all, you will see from today's presentation, we've certainly banded together as a club, overcome almost all the obstacles, and have enjoyed incredible success. COVID-19 has affected our personal and professional lives in so many different ways, it's truly remarkable that what we've been through. COVID has also affected the private club industry as well. Like most successful clubs in the U.S. today, the Moorings Club has a waiting list for membership, and we are experiencing large increases in member participation, as well as revenue increases across all amenities, especially golf and dining. From October 1st to February 28th, the first 5 months of our fiscal year, golf rounds at the Moorings and Hawks Nest are up 15% over last year on both courses. Keep in mind that last year was a record year as well. Looking back to the pre-COVID 2019-2020 season and comparing it to this year's season to date, rounds are up 35% at Hawks Nest and up 27% at the Moorings. In food and beverage, for the month of February, dining meals are up 18% at the Moorings and 68% at Hawks Nest. Season to date at Moorings, we have over 48,000 meals sold at a 21% increase to last year. And season to date at Hawks Nest, we have over 10,000 meals sold, a 46% increase to last year. Collectively, our dining business is up 25% over last year. Like many of you watching this presentation today, I as a member have experienced what this kind of robust business can do to a club experience. Not only do we have slightly more members than last year, but we have 20% more guests on property, and they are staying longer and using the club more than they have in the past. Members are seeking to come to their club for a private experience versus going out in public. This means eating out less at the area restaurants and socializing at their club more than ever before. This is a great thing, and it's exciting to see, but it's something that has to be carefully managed. In addition to higher member participation, we are still struggling to hire and retain valuable staff. We have run all season long down 20 employees between the kitchen and the front of house. This is not just a Moorings issue, but something that all the local Vero clubs are struggling with, not to mention clubs nationally. Luckily, we are starting to see the tide turn, and we've hired some excellent team members in the last month. The plan is to have a full summer membership in order to keep our staff engaged so they stay here to serve you in the fall. The tee sheets are very full as well. There is a resurgence in golf nationwide as well as among the local clubs here in Vero that we compete with. Please know we have heard your feedback, and the Golf Committee, the Board of Governors, Membership Committee, and staff are working on both long and short-term strategies to manage operations and create the best golf experience around. We appreciate your patience while we work things out. With all that said, we are members of an amazing club. We have so much to be thankful for and even more to look forward to, as you will see later on in the program. Thank you to the management and staff for your loyalty and efforts through all the challenges, and thank you to all of you, the members, for your support. Now, let's take a look at some of the successes we've achieved in the last year. Without further ado, I present the 21-22 annual year in review. And now I'm pleased to introduce LJ Fuix to share our financial review.
Thank you, Maggie, and good afternoon, everyone. Membership is a key driver of any club's financial performance. Last year, membership at the Moorings had a phenomenal year, leading to record operating profit and new member joining fees for the club. In a nutshell, that is the takeaway today for how the club performed financially last year. First off, let me point out that once again we have a clean audit report from Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, and a copy is available for your review in the River House if you're so interested. Turning to the numbers, in fiscal 2021, the club recorded revenues of $15,181,000, an increase of 8.1% over the prior year. The club also recorded cash operating profit of $1,252,000, an increase of 40.1% over the preceding year. If you're wondering what we do with that operating profit, we plow it into our capital funds and down the road reinvest it in our facilities. For the year, revenues were up 11.6% versus budget, with notable strong performances from dues, which exceeded budget by 12.3%, food and beverage at both campuses, which exceeded budget by 17.5%, and golf at both campuses, which exceeded budget by 11.4%. Conversely, expenses were only up 2.4% versus budget, despite all that growth, showing management's strong commitment to stringent expense control. This next slide shows you our total capital funds at the end of the fiscal year. The top half is what we call designated cash. The first item is waitlist deposits at $336,000. The next item is the Moorings course renovation reserve. That's the remainder that was left over at the end of the fiscal year at $366,000. That was spent subsequent to the fiscal year when we completed the project. The third item is the Hawks Nest renovation reserve. That's for the greens and roughs, which will be redone in 2024. That is a total project estimated at $1.1 million. We are reserving that annually up to that date so that it'll all be paid for when we engage that project. The next item is the Hawks Nest golf course building reserve, golf course maintenance building reserve at $375,000. We currently estimate that to have a total cost of about $1.5 to $2.0 million. We'll be bringing that to the members for a vote at some point in the future. And then lastly, we have an emergency reserve of $1 million to cover uninsured losses arising out of a weather event such as a hurricane or some other type of event. That takes us to our total designated cash of $2.442 million. Below that is our what we call NRCC, or non-refundable capital contributions. You can think of that as undesignated capital available for all kinds of capital expenditures, and that stood at $8,706,000, bringing us to total capital funds of $11,148,000. Below that is our operating cash at $6,198,000. That's what we use to pay our day-to-day operating expenses, payroll, supplies, taxes, what have you. And that was $1.2 million higher than it was the preceding year. So we're in very good shape in terms of operating cash. Brings us to total cash at the end of the year of $17,346,000. And to put that in perspective, in 2021, that amount was $12,902,000, so that's an increase of $4.4 million. And that's particularly impressive when you consider the fact that we paid off the debt in 2021, and that the debt and the swap, and that was at a cost of about $3.4 million. In 2021, the club spent $4.4 million on capital expenditures. Some of the notable major projects there were the Moorings course renovation here for $1.5 million, the cart barn here for $1 million. Both of those, I might add, were brought in under budget. What we call CMRP at both campuses, capital maintenance and replacement projects, came in at $1 million, and then we redid the tennis courts 1 through 6 for a cost of about $350,000. And then the last item there is membership equity, which increased almost $10 million to $44,274,000. Our auditors will tell you that that is the most important barometer for measuring the financial strength of a club. Is equity going up or is it going down? And if it's going up, then the club is generally deemed to be strong. And I think the fact that we went up by, again, almost 28% and almost $10 million is a testament to the incredible financial strength we have here. Turning to this year, revenues are up $204,858 versus budget and up $947,101 versus fiscal 2021 for the same period. Food and beverage and golf were strong contributors and are rebounding nicely from the 2021 COVID levels. Operating profit is ahead of budget by $238,480 and up $107,303 versus fiscal 21. And total cash at the end of January stood at $14,436,000, an increase of $1,586,000 over the prior year. We currently estimate capital expenditures for this year at $4.7 million. Major projects include CMRP at both campuses for $1.5 million and refurbishing the upstairs of the clubhouse here at the Moorings for $1.9 million. So in summary, I think it's fair to say that the club is in superb financial condition. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jeb Bittner, Chair of our Properties Committee, who's going to talk about some projects that are being contemplated for future consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, LJ. Good afternoon. If I haven't met you, my name is Jeb Bittner, and I had the privilege of chairing the Properties Committee this past year. And what I'd like to do the next couple minutes is provide a brief update on some capital plans that the club is contemplating and one capital project that we'd like to begin in the fall of 2022. We refer to it as the Harbor House. The board has given management given approval to secure conceptual, architectural, and engineering drawings. Today's review will be top level. Before anything is finalized, the club plans to survey the members on their thoughts and opinions regarding the club's vision for the future, which will be followed by a town hall meeting. And at that town hall meeting, the final design of the Harbor House will be discussed. Why now? Over the past 2 years, we've experienced great success at the club, garnering capital mainly from the new member joining fees that LJ just alluded to, the NRCC non-refundable capital contributions. The Moorings, like all premier clubs, needs to remain competitive and on trend with other local and national clubs. The capital enhancements we envision will not only make the experience great for today's members, but will over-deliver on the needs of members in the future. We have some outdated facilities on this campus that are not up to the mooring standards, including the current spa, pool bathrooms and the pool deck, the tennis pro shop, the bottom floor of the river house, and the dockside entrance from the parking lot. We know from experience and research that more than ever, members are looking to their clubs to be their one-stop source for entertainment, dining, recreation, wellness, and more, and our efforts will continue to advance the meeting of those needs. The Board of Governors will look forward to your continued support and feedback as we work through the planning and implementation of these projects as they are proposed and approval sought by you, the membership. Think of it like a puzzle. The first new building, the Harbor House, will make way for improvements that cross just about every interest in the club. We want the result of these efforts to provide an exceptional club, campus, and experience. I believe the vision and the timing of the capital projects are well thought out and will be staged in a way that if something goes bump in the night, the economy, COVID, etc., we can quickly pull back and adjust the spending and the plans. This is going to be a methodical 5 to 7 year process to enhance what we have and continue to elevate amenities into the future. This is where the Harbor House is proposed to be located. It's the space formerly occupied by the old cart barn. Imagine standing in front of it with the tennis and pickleball courts to your back. On the right side of the building, you will find a market featuring prepared foods, coffee shop, gift items, and more. And on the left, you'll find the relocated finance and administrative offices. On the top floor will be space for a 2,400 square foot spa and wellness suite. With that in mind, as part of our planning, we will be surveying the members in the coming months to determine what additional spa and wellness services they may like to see added to the current menu of offerings. Here's a rough plan view of the market building. Tables will be situated on the south side of the building on a patio where you could have a cappuccino, a latte, work on your iPad, or just swing by after tennis or a workout and pick up a prepared salad, sandwich, or a bottle of wine. And it will all be integrated seamlessly around the existing golf practice facility and will leave room for future pickleball expansion if pursued. So what's next? Capital projects 2024 and beyond. Once the Harbor House is complete, we can start to consider moving the other puzzle pieces around. More details will be coming to you in the town hall meeting later this year, and will include a repurposing or remodeling of the current spa facility in the building we all know as the Tea House. The space would be capable of hosting events, bridge, mahjong, and other meetings with an incredible view of the 18th fairway and the lake. Once administration offices are relocated out of the River House, that would allow the Pilates studio to move back into the River House, and along with the expanded class studio space that those old offices would allow. We also envision a beautiful new lobby with retail space for fitness and wellness items. Moving on, the pool area will get a new look, Marsite, decking, pool tile, and a new building on the deck for restrooms, which would include a relocated kids zone, game zone. Again, creating additional fitness space in the existing River House. The dockside entry is the most used entry point of the club and will get a new look and a feel befitting of a premier club. The old putting green adjacent to the cove will be the site of a new covered alfresco bar and restaurant overlooking the lagoon. The current day docks are showing their age and require updating. We are looking at converting them to a composite material while at the same time adding some additional day dock space. We are also considering some form of wave attenuation structure out in Starvation Cove to protect the slips from the battering they often get and take during the storms and westerly winds. And finally, after all this, last but certainly not least, the tennis shop will get its long-awaited renovation and modernization. At the Hawks Nest campus, we're planning on the 2024 renovation of the tees, greens, and rough, which, as LJ alluded to, is already being funded. Replacement of the original maintenance facility from the 80s when the course was first built. And we're also planning on an additional croquet court just south of the current one. And as I close my portion of the meeting, please keep in mind that all the improvements I discussed are all just part of a dynamic long-range planning process. Members will always have the opportunity to provide feedback via surveys, the suggestion box, future town hall meetings. And the best part, my favorite part, all of these proposals will proceed under the following guidance. They will require no additional special assessments, require the club take on no debt, and maintain the Moorings Club's conservative fiscal management and practices. So thank you for your time, and now if you'll please welcome Shanna McNally. She'll give you an update on membership.
Thank you. Hi, if I haven't met you, I'm Shanna McNally, and I've had the pleasure of chairing the membership committee for the past year. We've had a phenomenal year of new members. We had 189 new membership transactions take place, and they've come from trial conversions, and they've also been brand new members have joined the club. I'd like to thank Ursula Gunter and her team for managing this process, as well as our membership committee who took the time from their busy schedules to interview potential new members, give them a flavor of the club, because the two campuses are beautiful, both golf courses are beautiful, and that's what they're joining the club for. But because of this healthy growth, we had to start a wait list as of February 2021. So we currently have deposits from 97 potential members. 8 members are waiting to upgrade and 89 new members. So we estimate the wait time to be between 2 and 5 years, based on our typical attrition rates. So a club this size typically sees 4 or 5% or 40 to 50 resignations each year. And last year we had 38. And as I mentioned, we're full at our membership caps of 1,075. And that's comprised of 625 full members, 150 club members, and 300 social members. So we're in this really enviable position to have this healthy, strong membership, and our members recognizing the outstanding value that we have with all of the offerings that we have here. And because we're full, our feeder membership programs that we had in the past are either closed or on hold. The full club and legacy levels of membership are waitlisted. Social, invitational, junior, and general renter programs are closed, and temporary memberships for renters from a member and our summer memberships are still currently available. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shanna. I would like to call up Terry Burns, Secretary, and Head Teller Peter Sparks to announce the results of the election.
Mr. Sparks, please deliver the results of the vote.
I'm pleased to say that the 3 proposed board members were elected overwhelmingly by the membership.
Thank you to Peter and the staff for your participation in this year's balloting process. At this time, I would like to introduce the newly elected members of the board. As you hear your name, please stand. Chris Johns. Randy Soames. And of course, the second term for Dale Kaiser. Welcome to the board, and thank you in advance for your service. And at this time, I would like to open the floor up for questions and answers. We can also answer any questions that viewers have have at home. Please use the input of comments into your box on the page that you're viewing at home. So there's a microphone there in the middle. If there are any questions, feel free to ask them.
I understand that our cap is 1,075. Is that the current level of membership, or is it a little more than that? It's 1,075?
Correct. Silence, crickets. Oh, please use the microphone because the people at home can't hear you unless you speak into the microphone.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank the board for their exceptional performance during the last year, especially LJ. One of the things that have been of concern to me is that we seem to have, since 2005, gone into a period of everyone has 6 years on the board. I think we have a substantial amount of talent in this club, and that I would like the board to consider limiting the terms to 1 term, 1 3-year term, or make it a 6-year term, whatever you want. But I think that it's necessary that we have a lot of different people involved in the running of the club. And I think that a 6-year term is especially restrictive on the people from the talent level. that we have in the club? Thank
Well,
you.
first of all, the term is 3 years, and at the invitation of the president, can be extended for another 3 years, but the nominating committee has to approve that. So it's not a done deal, just if you say, I want to serve for another 3 years. So I think in some ways we are controlling that, and we haven't always renewed somebody's term for another 3 years. It hasn't happened all the time. The other is you have a lot of committees here that are helpful in terms of the overall management and giving us feedback and advice for how we approach all of these. I'm not saying we shouldn't have, one term only, but I think up to now, this is the way we've been operating, and it seems to have been fairly successful.
I don't even know how to phrase this, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm Pam Delaney. Like everyone else, I think this club has done a phenomenal job in managing across the board almost everything, given how much increased play the golf courses are getting, the amount of dining that's going on in these clubs, all doing it with less staff. I think that's phenomenal, and I'd really like to thank the staff today for pulling that magic off. Question I'm not sure how to ask is, I think we all know that, the dining rooms it's kind of challenging to get a reservation. You better be awake early and your finger on the button to get a tea time out at Hawk's Nest. So is there any thought to sort of letting things settle down a little bit before we start admitting people off a wait list? Is that an okay question? Do you know where I'm going with that?
Absolutely, and it's been discussed, and no decisions have been made. I think one of the things we wanted to do, this is the first time we've ever had this problem. So we need to see if we can't figure that out from an organizational standpoint first, before we start throwing people off or excusing you, whatever. Seriously, I think, we're also working on some very specific things to improve both the tea time situation and the dining situation. And a lot of this is being driven by the fact that we are really strapped for staff. If we could open another dining room, at night, we wouldn't be having this problem. But right at the moment, we are managing it as best as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good afternoon. I'm David Summers. I'd like to echo the thoughts that have been expressed here about the great job that the club staff and Board of Governors have done over the last couple of years, and address the staff issue that has come up frequently. We have, as we know, the club is dependent on the staff. The experience is the staff. And running short-staffed, even though it sounds like maybe we've had some good luck hiring recently, running with short staff is extremely wearing on the staff. Excuse me. And I'm worried because inflation is taking off, and housing in this area is getting more expensive, particularly if you don't own it and you have to rent it. And I'm wondering if the board has given any thought to what we need to do with pay levels for the staff going forward to try to get ahead of that, if in fact that is happening as it appears to here. I know nobody wants to have their dues raised, but the staff is us. So.
I will tell you that we definitely have addressed that. And we have been giving raises. We are absolutely, Craig can attest to this, and we are also looking into housing and into renting apartments so that we can bring people from other parts of the country when they're not, when it's winter in the Northeast, they can come down here and work in the nice weather in Florida. So there, absolutely, every one of those things is being addressed and looked at and have given full consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any questions from online?
So at this point, we don't have any questions online, but I'm going to have Nicole double check it real quick while I'm talking here. I just wanted to answer Ms. Gervais' question. Where is she? Oh, here she is. Okay, so we do have 1,075 equity members, and that's what our bylaws say we can have. And we do have anywhere from 35 to 40, it fluctuates, what we call special memberships. And these are either junior members or they're legacy members that don't have a vote. It's, some sort of like hybrid special membership that, since 1984 we have sort of in our counts. And the board in its discretion can make these special membership categories. So we do have 1,075 of you who have certificates and who have a vote and have equity in the club. And then there is about 35 to 40 that we kind of run over. But again, they're juniors. They could be 25 to 30-year-old members who will not have an equity stake in the club until they're 50.
Question, and I'm a little nervous, so I'm going to read it. Given the never-ending uncertainty of energy prices, as well as the need for everyone to do their part for the environment, will we as a club consider how we can minimize our energy usage today, as well as when we move forward with new buildings and renovations?
You want to answer that? Sure.
Yeah,
You got to talk in the mic.
okay. Yeah, that's every day of our operational plan. We're converting to LED everywhere. We have $100,000 in the budget to change out our old strand system in this clubhouse. That's part of the renovation that we're doing this summer. So we're able to support the LED lighting and be able to dim it. A lot of you probably notice sometimes the lights fluctuate. So yeah, going green is huge at this club. Craig Wyatt with his best practices in golf course maintenance. So we definitely address that. We address it in our operational budget. We spend money to convert to it, and then it saves money over the long run. And we've recognized a huge savings in our electrical bill.
Hi, Darlene Mercelis. We've been longtime members, and Steve's parents were here even before we came. But I just want to caution the board to, let me just say, to me, it seems as though everything is getting very busy. It's hard to get courts for things and parking and everything else. And yet I hear about a market coming in, and that kind of concerns me, that we might just go over the edge and become too commercialized and too I don't know what. Anyway, that's just my comment.
I think the market is really viewed as another amenity, so that if you're playing tennis and you want a quart of milk or you want a sandwich afterward, it's available to you. It's not Publix, and it's not, anything that's that big. But I think you're also in the very busy season right at the moment too, so you can have that impression. All right.
Okay, this question is from Diana Strickler. She says that she thinks we might have too many members. Is there any talk about reducing the bylaw caps and how many members we allow?
We've discussed it, and we have not come to any conclusion. As I said, this is the first time we've ever had this issue, so I think we would like to try to solve things from an operational standpoint rather than changing the bylaws, which have been in place for quite a long time by now, at this point in time. Should we need to do that, I'm sure the future board will be considering that as part of their, part of the process. Any more questions? Thank you all very much for coming. Whoop, got one more? You got to go fast here.
There we go. Gordon Russell, newly a member myself, with my father, been here forever, music guy. And first of all, great report. Good to see such great financial condition and strength. Great to see the long-range planning coming up. Eager to see the new renovation upstairs here. That'll be great. I didn't hear anything specific about addressing staffing, and I didn't hear anything in the capital budget at all about kitchen operations or funding of, newness there to help the staff. I say that only because I keep hearing that that's the problem. Oh, the kitchen isn't designed right, so you've got this problem or that
Well, this
problem.
kitchen is designed.
I don't know anything about it. That's what I hear, so I'm just reporting from the street.
I'm really surprised that you hear the kitchen isn't designed right, because we have the most state-of-the-art equipment that you could ever ask for. So as far as equipment, we have it.
Good.
But you're right. We're down probably 20 people between the kitchen and the front of the house. I think we have an operational plan going into next year that we're going to, with COVID behind us, we're going to hire some great people and teach them the skill set, and then we're going to buy people with the skill set. That's why we're talking about, for the first time, we're going to rent 6 or 8 apartments. We're going to bring in really good people and in the back of the house. So that shouldn't be an excuse for your satisfaction. I feel your pain. I know what's going on now, because I have to say, March is the busiest month of the year. We do 4 months of food and beverage business in 1 month. We do almost $1 million. So, we appreciate your patience.
It happens every year. March will happen.
It does. And I could tell you, if you're going to come in the day of or the day before and you want a 6:30 reservation on a Saturday night or a Thursday night, I don't care if we have 500 members or 1,075 members. You're not going to get the reservation.
Well, I follow up just one time, say.
But you will be able to walk in and you'll go on a slot that in 15 minutes or 20 minutes we're able to seat you. We're in local restaurants, it's an hour.
Two things. A great problem to have.
Yes.
I mean, I keep hearing we've never had this problem before. Well, it's not a problem, it's an opportunity. And I think we need to grab it hard, because it won't be here forever, and now's the time to make the impact. But I will tell you that half the time I dine here, I hear complaints. Just half the time, at least.
Yeah.
So just letting you know, that's what I hear.
Okay.
So
well, I'm
something we
sorry
need to
you hear
address.
complaints, because I hear a lot of the other way. And I agree. It's an opportunity to get better. And Mrs. Rosado, how many meetings do we have? And say, if we got a complaint, it's an opportunity to get better. And I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Oops. Oh, dear. Oh, well, here I am. Can you hear me? Just a thought, and I realize we have lots of new staff and staff that's being trained, but my impression, and we dine here quite a bit as well, is that getting, particularly down in the Commodore's room at Dockside, getting the order from the time that you place an order to when you get your bill, there's often a lot of confusion. And the bills are, you get somebody else's entree. So is there any thought being given to the staff having a way to online order?
If you're asking about the staff to have tablets and be able to send those orders to the kitchen in real time.
It goes from paper to something.
It does. It goes from paper, they input it into our POS system.
And then it's kind of the tail end for the staff to have to go back and change the billing.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for ways to improve. As far as technology, I think we're at the highest level, the club, other than having a tablet to take your order. But here's the deal. You can go into a public restaurant, they have one menu, and they have one menu forever. We change our menus so much. We have sides that we add. It would take them twice as long to get the menu on a tablet than to go to a big POS computer and just put it all in. That's how I feel now. That could change, though. And I think it's a good point, and I'll ask Jacob, our food and beverage manager, to look into that, especially, downstairs in the dockside. And it's been asked by members before. Right now, we're not there, but maybe we'll get there.
We done? Thank you all very much. We appreciate your being here, and the meeting is now adjourned.